Hey, this is Alex Miranda, identity branding expert and founder of the Creative Complex, where for the past 10 years, we've been helping entrepreneurs bring their visions to life. Today, I want to talk to you about a hot topic, how to come up with an awesome business name. But before we get into today's video, I want to draw your attention to two links. First, you can always book a strategy session with me. Right? I'd love to talk to you about your identity and your brand. Second, you could buy my book. I've got a book on Amazon called The Guide to the Perfect Church Identity Branding. Okay, let's jump right into it. You're stuck. You're stuck because you need to find a cool business name. Or the name that you have in your company, it's not working anymore. Look, I've been there with a lot of my clients. Imagine, over the last 10 years, I've been helping entrepreneurs come up with their logos and their websites. So naturally, they're going to come to me, and sometimes they don't know a name. Sometimes the name, I have to tell them, oh, we need to think about a different name for your company. So we've had a lot of experience here with coming up with cool and awesome business names. So in today's video, I want to kind of shed a little bit of light on why you need to change your name, when is it a good idea, and some tips and tricks on coming up with an awesome name. So first, name changes happen a lot. You might be buying a business from someone else and the name is no longer relevant. You might be, again, coming up with a business, but the business name is too long, right? Or the business name is no longer culturally relevant. And so what happens is you're sort of in this position of, well, this name no longer works anymore. And we want to try to attract this new type of target market to our business. So what do we do, right? Where do we start? And I always like to start with my clients doing a naming strategy session, all right? The naming strategy session, we're going to take people through a sort of a list of questions, right? Of kind of what their product does, what industry they're in, and what they're producing. What are the benefits to the consumer, right? What will happen for them, right? What's in it for the consumer? What will they get? What are the ingredients that go into creating this product or service? How different are you from your competitors? What makes you unique? And what's some lingo in your industry? Okay, these are some of the questions that I have them written down here that we actually go through with a strategy session. From there, we'll actually start brainstorming some names. All right. There's so many ways to brainstorm names. It could be based on location. It could be based on descriptions of a certain product or service or area. It can be a combination of names that come about. They could be brandable names that are meaningful to the owners, which that's how the Creative Complex came up. And I'm actually going to explain that at the end, how we came up with the name Creative Complex. So now that we've had this strategy session and we've asked the right questions, now we create a list of potential names, right? And then what we like to do from here is go out and send out a survey. And let my clients, customers, maybe people on Facebook, maybe you just go on Facebook and you put 5 or 6, 7 names and let your friends tell you what sticks out to them, what's memorable to them. Okay. We've also been able to conduct focus groups. So let's say at first I have a strategy session with my client, But then I decide, you know what, I want to meet with some of your customers or some of your volunteers. And in that case, now these are what's called focus groups, where we start to sort of ask them maybe a lot of the same questions that we go through in the strategy session that I just went over with you. But there might be some more questions that we'll start to ask specifically that has to do with their role as it pertains to the company. Sometimes we'll do focus groups with staff. Okay. Now that we have this data and we're sending out this survey, we're going to come back and we're going to get 2 or 3 names, and then we're going to run them through a final checklist of things like, is it memorable? Is it easy to pronounce? Are there any negative connotations to it? Will this name alienate any groups of people? Funny side note here, not really funny at all, but there's a lot of companies that were called ISIS, like before ISIS existed. And because it stood for something, it was an acronym for something. And so this ISIS thing happens, and now these companies are getting vandalized, right? Because they've got big signs out in front called ISIS. So a bunch of people changing the names of their companies, again, because it was sort of, culturally, the name, it was just bad luck, really, because they could have kept ISIS forever had the group not existed. But sometimes you're forced into a situation to change because of cultural things that are happening. And finally, when we get these names back, we also want to do a little bit of trademark research, right? What if this name is taken by someone? And this happened to us with a client recently, where we came up with this awesome name. I mean, we did some awesome focus groups, and we spent so much time coming up with this name, and then the name was trademarked. And it was like, it's such a bummer. But hey, you got to do it. You got to check the trademark, make sure it's available, right? We're also checking to make sure that the domain is available to the name that you're choosing. All right. Now, so at this point, we've sort of, done these focus groups and asked the right questions in the strategy sessions. And now we're sort of running them through this final checklist. And based on that, we should be able to come up with a name for a company. The story of the Creative Complex was that my 2 partners we got together and we wanted to sort of form this cool company that did awesome creative work for people. Right? We were web developers and graphic designers and business people, because I'm neither of those two. We thought, man, we want a place where creatives are all together. We were thinking like this fantasy fun house, right, with ping pong tables and basketball courts and just a bunch of creatives in one place. Well, this is what is a creative complex, right? A complex is a place, housing things and people. So we are the Creative Complex, and that did 2 things for us. First, for the creatives, it let them know, hey, this is a place where other creatives exist. Second, for my clients, it let them know, man, this is a place where creatives exist. So it was like a win-win for the 2 people that we were trying to attract, right? Good people to work for us and good people to work with us. So I hope this video was able to shed a little bit of light. I hope you grab 1 or 2 golden nuggets in your journey to either rename your company or come up with a new name for your new business. Like always, you can book a strategy session with me. We'd love to talk to you about your identity and your brand. So this is Alex Miranda signing off from Miami, Florida's Creative Complex.